Gravity is an important aspect and property of the universe. To be more precise, everything in the universe. Typically, everything that has mass produces a gravitational force of its own, but not the gravity of all the objects is significant due to their negligibly small masses. In space, since there is no matter suspended there, astronauts experience something called zero gravity. Going against gravity is one of the most serious aspects even when it comes to rocket launches. On the Earth, we are all bound to its gravity, which causes norms as simple as a ball thrown vertically will eventually reach the ground. In the midst of all these events dealing with gravity, would you believe me if I told you there are places on Earth which are seen to be defying gravity? At this place, a ball rolls up a hill opposing gravity. At another place, people can stand leaning at very critical angles without falling. Behold the anti-gravity hills. Your support is highly essential to our growth, so please like, share and comment on our videos. In the meantime, do not forget to subscribe to our channel so that you will be the first to watch our videos. Anti-gravity hills are places where the gravity is seen to be defied, meaning things here act in a way similar to at zero gravity zones. To our surprise, there are more than one place on Earth with the same features. In India, Tulsisham Hill, located in Gujarat, is known for events like cars at neutral moving upwards the hill. Dating back to 1939, the first of this kind was opened as a tourist attraction near Santa Cruz, California by George Prather. This place is now well known as Mystery Spot. Here, people can move and stand at very strange angles. Elsewhere, people would have lost balance and be on the ground due to their extreme gravitational force component. However, the case is unbelievably different at such areas, which makes people to believe they are crooked vortexes where the gravity is bent. Stories around the mystery spot, from a more superstitious perception, speak of a meteor which fell in the ancient days and left a magical circle in this area. These self-made theories suggest that an electromagnetic field on the hill deters wildlife and could be the justification behind this norm. Facts and unproven theories are well scattered when it comes to odd events around us. Just because they are interesting and entertaining, we cannot buy the ideas without scientific evidence, because the truth behind this leads to an unexpected field of science. Science of anti-gravity hills. The facts of unaffected vortex are all definitely myths. The reality, however, justifies the situation at various places as a result of optical illusion, which indirectly corresponds with human senses as well. Beginning with a simple example. We are all aware of mirage in deserts, where the color of the sky is reflected by dense and less dense layers of air to form an illusion of seeing a pool of water at long distance. As we move closer to this so-called pool of water, we will realize that it's technically moving away from us. Similar to such phenomenon, witnessing objects defying gravity is totally a different kind of illusion. In the mystery spot, where people are seen to be standing at abnormal angles, is actually because of the slanted hill and the way the roof in the wooden house is set up. As a result, misperception of the height and orientation occur at this point. According to Professor William Prince-Medal, when the perceiver's body is also tilted, the distorting impacts of the vision is greatly magnified, 2 to 3 times. Biologically, human body works in such a way to prioritize the odd scenarios. At this point, all the other senses fall back while the visual sense is significantly heightened. This explains why people may feel like they're fainting at such times in the first place. The phrase, seeing is believing, is not necessarily applicable to all situations around us. The same explanation goes well with all the different places where a similar anti-gravity idea is promoted. In all the cases, observing from out of the system, like standing away from the hill, is undeniably the right way to understand such places. So, you may think that the idea of zero gravity is inapplicable apart from a situation in space. Well, I would say that it's not exactly true, because realistic zero gravity zones, or ones that give the same experience, are achievable right here on Earth. Zero gravity flight. Not everyone can become an astronaut to experience a journey in space. However, science gives an opportunity for people to not stand at disadvantage. It means we can still experience zero gravity while staying on our beloved planet. It's called zero gravity flight. Obviously, this method does not propose a way to escape or to make gravity disappear, as what it does is something as simple as getting a ride on a roller coaster. The only difference is that your ups and downs are going to be longer and more critical as a whole. The given term to this is weightless flight. These flights are operated by specially trained pilots who perform aerobatic maneuvers known as parabolas. Basically, the flight with the passengers is lifted to an altitude of about 24,000 feet. After that, the pilots begin to pull up, gradually increasing the angle of aircraft to about 45 degrees. Before we go deeper into this parabolic movement, we have to understand how it creates a zone of free gravity ideally. Just imagine that you're using a lift in a shopping mall. When the lift moves from a higher to a lower level, the people inside it may feel like they're becoming weightless at slide. When the weight of the lift is accelerating towards the ground, the opposing force is actually supporting the weight of the people inside it. We are talking about a lift traveling at a very low speed, but in case, if it moves at a very high speed, like 200 kilometers per hour, what do you think will happen? The people inside the lift will feel like they are floating in the air, at least until the lift stops. Well, that's a similar concept magnified in the case of weightless flight. Parabolic movement is generally moving like the shape of a sine graph. As the movement is repeated continuously at a reasonably high rate, the passengers inside it will experience a situation similar to zero gravity. However, they still can't outrun the side effects. The passengers of zero gravity flight are advised to not take any fluid just before they travel. The extreme movement can make people to feel discomfort and lightheaded at times. Zero gravity, as much as it is fun like being shown in cartoons, floating in the air like a helium balloon, has serious effects on our body's mechanism. Scientists have tested rats and their body functions in space, only to find out they have some serious health issues in the long run. Let's take humans for instance. Our body has adapted to cope up and work well with the Earth's gravity. Our heart knows how much pressure is needed for our blood to make sure all our organs receive sufficient oxygen supply. When we stay too long in a zero gravity zone, we may end up fainting due to insufficient oxygen supply to our brain. So, we have to understand that messing up with gravity can even affect us biologically. Since people don't feel such things at the anti-gravity hills, you can be very sure that the facts about them are nothing more than myths. So folks, that's all for now. We'll be right back with more interesting facts from Quantum Vimana.